Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live on Channels Television from Lagos, Nigeria. You can get all our top stories on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Please visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device from wherever you are in the world, especially for our viewers outside of West Africa. Also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We are still counting down to the 31st December 2015, the date issued by the federal government of Nigeria as deadline to end the Boko Haram insurgency. Obviously, taking stock of its feat, the federal government declared a tactical defeat of the Boko Haram sect on November the 24th. While many analysts agree with the technical defeat of the sect, based on the fact that the sect's lavish, disproportionate activities have been reduced to pockets of bombings by suicide bombers in the northeast, some are, however, holding President Buhari to his words on May the 29th, where he said during his speech that the war on Boko Haram will not be over until the Chibok girls are found. So, what more needs to be done? Let's bring in Temitope Oludo, a UK-based security expert, to talk more about this. Thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it is clear what the government, as the federal government of Nigeria, wants in this fight against Boko Haram. Zero tolerance to the activities of Boko Haram. Many believe this war has been on a progressive path, especially for the federal government, but we can't overlook the pockets of bombings here and there, can we?
Yeah. No, we can't, but we must give kudos to the Nigerian security service and operative who are working day and night to try and address this issue. But like your correspondent clearly highlighted, what they have resorted to is going after soft target areas and trying to cause more fear in the community to more or less try and prove that there's still much around. The bottom line is that even though the capacity of the Boko Haram group have been brought, to the barest minimum, there will still be a fringe, a little group that will still operate. There will still be a bit of sleeper cells that will still try to carry out as much damage as they could or cause much havoc. And that's the reason why, the collective responsibility, it is the collective responsibility of all Nigerians, to work with the security services to address those issues.
So let's just say that Boko Haram's capacity to inflict major terror is over. What strategies can the Nigeria security agencies employ to maintain their success on the ground?
I think the first approach is enhancing or increasing their civilian-military relationship. Try and reduce the number of recruitment by the group, because the group is still recruiting, whether we like it or not. They are still recruiting, and there are a lot of Nigerians that are actually traveling out of the country to join ISIS and other groups. So the first thing is to destroy their capacity to recruit, because if they don't have the manpower, to carry out their activities, then they won't be able to carry out any activities, more or less. So that's why one of the reasons why I welcome, and I know many people welcome, the government strategy, to try and tackle the issue of unemployment, which is one area, the issue of working, with the community in terms of working with religious leaders to try and push out, the government narrative and the proper narrative about Islam. We need to do that. And then to know who our neighbors are, to know who is not around, who is around, to be able to gather more intelligence and ensure that the security institutions are stronger to withstand, our future disruptions from terrorist group.
But can we then leave all these things that you have mentioned to the Nigeria military? You've mentioned a lot of civil society group assignments here in terms of educating the community and then keeping an eye on your neighbor. Are you saying that the Nigerian military in the immediate should engage the communities and the people like this?
I think in the first instance, the job falls on the Nigerian military, because they are within the theater of the war. So they have responsibility, to create a kind of a conducive environment, for proper engagement with the communities. But we need the police to step up to the plate, to be more visible. We need, FRSC, to work more in the area of transportation terrorism. We need, the churches to work more in the area of the mosque and the church and civil society to work more. But
Exactly.
government need to set the pace and develop the strategy that people need to work with.
All right, this brings me to the last question. Can locating the Chibok girls be a yardstick for measuring the success of this war against Boko Haram? It's just 72 hours or less to the end of the deadline.
Definitely it can't be. The girls are definitely not within the environment that we think they are, because all the environments have been combed. But I think what the government need at the moment is to develop a task force that will work exclusively in the area of tackling, looking for the girls and other girls that have been captured, because it's only by doing that that we could actually truly measure the performance of the military in the area of winning the war on terror. But it's not the only yardstick. There are so many yardsticks that need to be used, or parameters.
Which are?
Destroying the infrastructure, the ability to carry out suicide bombing, strengthening our soft target areas so that the number of bombs in marketplace or in the soft target areas are reduced completely. More intelligence being gathered, more proactive arrests, just like we see in Europe and America. We all want now in the news is stories of Nigerian military intercepting or arresting people before they even carry out any activities. When we get to that point, then we know that we are actually winning the war on terror.
Temitope Olodo, a UK security expert there for us. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa. Well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll take you through some other stories on the bulletin. Guinea to be declared Ebola-free by the World Health Organization if no new cases are recorded in the next 24 hours.